All right, guys, so we got to the very end of the video recording it, and now we're putting this in the beginning of the video because I had an epiphany.
You had an epiphany too?
I said we had an epiphany. So as we're going through this, we're talking about comments of people like that keep reiterating. And one of the comments is, there's always two sides to every story, and the dealership doesn't have a voice in this, and there's no way for them to get it out. So,
oh, wait a minute. Daddy raised this boy, and I raised him to stand up for what's right and always be fair and fight to the end. Because if you're right, you're right. God will be behind you. So, yeah, we had an epiphany. Go ahead.
So, this message is directly to Phil Wright Autoplex. If you guys want to make a rebuttal video and send it to me with your side of the story, I will 100% put it up on my YouTube channel to give you guys an equal platform. Like we said from the beginning, I have nothing to hide, and whatever you guys want to say in your video, whatever you guys want to do
unedited, pal.
Unedited, I will put it straight on YouTube for everybody to see, and you could explain your side, and that gives you a fair platform, because now you'll have the subscribers I have, you'll have all the viewers that I have for you to go out, say what you want to say.
John Davy Jones, here you go, buddy.
Right, so
wrap some PR up in this one. Let's see how high you fly.
So that is the most equal way that we could think that we could do this, give you guys fair battleground. I don't know what to say. So do with that what you guys want to do. You guys have my phone number. You could message me. You could get me on my Instagram at dray1991 and send me a direct message, whatever you guys want to do. So that's my invitation, our invitation, for you to send us whatever you want, and I will post it unedited
all the
on
employees, daughters and friends, and I feel sorry for you guys that you got that kind of leadership. I'm thinking they're going to go out of business. They're in a death row going down in the deepest depths of water. Yeah, probably use that in your second lawsuit. I don't care. It's my opinion. I feel sorry for the employees, but here's their chance. Do something about something right. If you think you got to fight, make it. If you want to finally extend an olive branch and do the right thing and pull all this down, do it. But here you go. Anybody that's going to shoot a comment out. What was it, Manfred, the one that tipped us off with all the information that allowed us to get our lawyers in plenty of time? Here you go. All your information you had was wrong. That's liable and tort. Might be some repercussions from that, by the way.
We're getting off into the weeds a little bit.
No, we are a little bit. But I just want to say, before you guys start worrying on your little phones and your keypads, think about it. These guys have a platform to lead you guys in the right way and do the right thing, whether it be communicate and put this to an end, or keep fighting and burying themselves deeper with all this nonsense, because we have everything wrapped up from one end to the other. We got recorded conversations they're not aware of.
Why do you keep doing that?
Well, I don't know. You don't want to say that?
I don't want to say any evidence.
Okay, we don't have that.
All right, I'm going to cut that out.
No, don't cut it out.
No,
but anyway, okay, this is a good video.
So there you go. You guys have a platform. Make a video, send it to me, and I'll put it up unedited. And we'll get in with the rest of the video. It's a pretty long video, but I think it's pretty interesting. You guys stick around. Thank you for watching. And here we go with the rest of our video. Welcome back to the Dresa Family channel. And real quick, if you haven't seen these 4 previous videos before, go ahead, check them out. They'll be linked down below. And watch them before this one, because this video won't make much sense. But we're going to get into it now. This long-awaited video that a lot of people have been asking for, an update video on the Phil Wright Autoplex and what has happened. Geez, it's been over a month now since we posted those videos, and instead of reaching out to us and trying to work a deal out or move on, they decided to file a defamation lawsuit against my dad and I. And if you want to see the actual suit, you could go on Arkansas Court Connect. I'll have it linked down below. In the last name, type Deresa, D-E-R-E-S-A, and it'll come up. Or I'm about to show these pages right now. I'm just going to do 2 seconds on each page, so if you actually want to read it through on the TV, pause your screen. So here they are now. All right, so in this official court document, which is a complaint to the court for defamation, the case number is 58 CV 2310. Throughout the entire document, I have tangible evidence that I could completely 100% prove that there are multiple lies and unfactual things that they've stated in this document. I don't want to give all that evidence away because they're still holding it over our heads where they could sue us in the future, even though they've completely closed the case. As soon as we got lawyers, they dropped it. but they left it to where they could sue us in the future. I believe they have up to a year to reopen the lawsuit. I don't want to give my exact evidence that I have, all the documentation that I have, so that they could use it against us later in a lawsuit in the future. So you just have to take our word for it that I have endless evidence and documentation to prove all this.
Concerning this, I don't even know the words to put to it, but it didn't come as a surprise. But I don't understand what a dealership like them is doing something like this to their customers. If you take the time to go read it, you'll see how poorly it's written. It's my belief that it was a bluff from the start. So it was over our heads. We got onto it pretty early. We got some other things we're going to talk about in a minute. We did achieve getting lawyers, and it made it really interesting, though, that they would stoop so low to, I got to look at the camera, I'm not a YouTuber.
Yeah.
I can film my son. It was a good
I think what he's trying to say is they haven't once, since the videos went up, tried to reach out to us to take the videos down, to give us a cease and desist letter, contact us with their lawyer and say, like, what are you guys doing? You need to take this down. This is defamation. Not once have they tried to reach out to us. We found out through someone writing a comment on one of my videos that had still got stuff completely wrong, but had enough evidence or enough knowledge in there for us to be concerned that we were being sued. And that got us to look into it, and we found out that it was true.
When you read the complaint, you're going to see that in 4 days, that's when they issued the complaint. That's when they filed it. And they state in the complaint that at 10,000 views, we caused $75,000 worth of damage.
Mm-hmm.
So my questioning is, and for future lawsuits for them, because I'm pretty sure at some point when they figure out how much money they're losing, and yeah, I stated that because it's got to be a fact by now, they're taking their own power away from them, because they've never even tried to have a cease and desist letter. They've never tried to call. They've never tried to do anything to make this go away, except for threaten, accelerate, antagonize this whole thing. So I just kind of wanted to get that out of there, that he's now at 1 million views. That was 10,000. And the people, if you read the way that this complaint, they want us barred from being able to put videos up, take the ones down, because we're just killing their business. So we're killing it so bad, their pride has held them from trying to make a smoke signal attempt to try to resolute this, other than intimidation and kicking our asses. So good job, guys. You're doing fine. Just like I told you in the beginning, you're doing real good.
Well, the basis of their complaint is that we're trying to impede their business and destroy their business with our videos.
Oh, that's the second part of the complaint.
And that our videos being up is damaging their business so bad that they wanted to have a restraining order for me to stop being able to post videos on it. And then once I got served the paperwork, they wanted me in court within 3 days of being served.
Yeah, they were asking.
And normally you get 30 days to get all your stuff organized to get into court, but they wanted it within 3 days to expedite everything for how much damage I was causing. And then out of nowhere, they went and dropped the suit all on their own. Never even contacted us. They talked to his lawyer, because we had 2 separate lawyers.
My lawyer called him
and found out that they were dropping the suit.
Is that the tyranny part of this? Is that coming up? Along with all of this, to not be repetitive, there's a sense of sure, they'll do anything they can to us to make us feel bad, to regret, whatever. We're fighting, right? But the thing of it is like, I was mad at my lawyer. He's the best there is in Arkansas, the best coming out of Little Rock. I'm ready to go fight this to get a resolution to this. I believe if you're right, you're right. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And if you're right, you fight like hell till it's over. It's a victory to us, because obviously they won't pursue it. I'm going to declare victory, but this, I don't want to put bad words to this, but this thing of holding it over our heads, I don't know that they're intentionally doing it, other than I believe this was a bluff. I think they knew they couldn't win. Go ahead and read this complaint, and you tell me what you think when you read it. It looks like a 5-year-old wrote it. Read it. I can't even speech right. But, the intent there is to badger and make us read it and go, oh my God, we're screwed. And, people with intellect can see through that. It's very lawfully, poorly written. And the tyranny, I got mad at my lawyer because he called over there and mitigated this without conversing with me first to bring it to an end. I wasn't too happy with that because he wrote me a letter saying he had done so and that watch what we say in the comments, and that they did it without prejudice, meaning they could open it at any time.
They have to refile and start from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think so. That's why the first lawyer I went to said to stop commenting, and we did. So what I'm trying to get at with this here, it was poorly written, and it's my opinion that they definitely were trying to bluff in the beginning. My lawyer tried to tackle this problem by himself and thought that he did, and wrote me a letter telling me to watch what I say in the comments and that they did this without prejudice. So that takes it over to where it's a real bone to pick for me, because it's a First Amendment issue. I believe in the Constitution, and I believe when you fight, whether it's at work and you're fighting for what's right and standing up for what you believe in, I've always prayed about it, and God will honor that. One of us is right and one of us is wrong. When they hold something over your head like this, and I have my own lawyer telling me stuff like that, I told him right away, basically, that what are you trying to do? Threaten me? Told my lawyer that, because that isn't how this works. That isn't how this works in my household or my mind. I'm going to say what I want and do what I want. I'm not going to let somebody control my life. So that's where we're at now. It's your First Amendment right. You either believe in it or you don't. And I mean, that's what a lot of this ended up being wrapped around. We're not auditors, and we're not First Amendment people that go out to seek views, but
Right.
Unfortunately, dealing with the police and dealing with the situation that we were forced into, it manifested, and someday it's probably going to do with you too. And if you don't take care of the little things, you're definitely not going to take care of the big things. People like to talk the talk, what they're going to do when they come for their guns, and what they're going to do what are you going to do on the little things when somebody's giving your kid a problem in school and making them write the wrong report and they can't talk about God? What are you going to? Those are the things. If you can't do those, you're definitely not going to do anything when the real problems come.
And that's what this whole thing is about. Is they're trying to sue us for defamation, but what it comes down to is it's our First Amendment right to freedom of speech and to be able to protest, and the Constitution supports that. And they're trying to shut off our voice from being able to express what happened to us and let people know our story that happened there. And all we're doing is trying to share our story with people for them to make their own opinions based off what they've seen in the videos and go from there. And they're just totally trying to step on that right.
Just a word of what I've learned about libel and all these tort laws and stuff. They have an uphill battle. They have to prove the monetary damage, but they have to prove everything they said. And I can tell you right now, this thing that they wrote, they have no idea what they were in for, because we have recordings of his guys saying things.
Don't say any of that stuff.
Okay. Well, believe me, we have all the proof in the world. They would have had a whole new world. I think they've created their own past, telling their stories in their echo chamber to each other, and they don't even really know what happened anymore.
There's so many errors in this that I could 100% prove with tangible evidence that it's wrong.
Yeah.
So that's so far the only smart decision they've made in this whole transaction was to drop that lawsuit. And if they want to reopen it again, we're even more prepared than we were.
We're ready. Unfortunately, it's all about what's right? $650, or if they gave him a loaner truck, is what people miss, that they took away from him without no notice. But the real thing of it is, it's all about principle here, right? The part I want to say is that he did tax my life. We sat here, the whole family. We busted. We went through timelines, videos.
Can't cuss.
Oh, can't cuss. Busted is cussing?
Can't say or anything like that.
Well, anyway, we busted butt. So through this whole ordeal, we did put a lot of time in, and I hope you guys got your money's worth, because I was waiting to get served. It takes 14 days, and then they have to repost to serve for private contractors. And wouldn't you know it, on the 14th day, it got dropped. So if you want some entertaining value, read this here complaint. And we thought we were going, went balls to the walls to get the right lawyers and everything, because when I fight, I'm going to win. Or I'm going to not walk away saying, geez, I wish I would have done a little more. Mm-hmm. So, I think that's about all I got to say about this portion of it.
Of the lawsuit end of it. Now we'll get into people taking it upon themselves to call into the dealership and get their side of the story. I've had a couple comments recently within this day, actually, people calling and explaining what has happened while they called. And I'm going to put those up right here so you guys can read them. I don't know these people. I don't know if it's true. They could totally be making it up. But based on what it says, there's no reason for me not to believe what they're saying. And I just want to take the time now, if you do take it upon yourself to give a call to them and see their side, just remain respectful. Don't be rude. Don't threaten them. Don't do anything like that. Again, we're not asking you to call them. It's just if you want to hear their side, you can go ahead and do that. And I can't stop you guys from calling, but we just want to emphasize, just be respectful.
I'm going to put my little spin on this as I usually do. Keeping in mind the whole time, all we want to do is put this in the past. We want this behind us. Trying to put this delicately so as to not offend people. I don't know what they're thinking over there or what they're doing. They haven't figured out yet how all this works. They keep giving us more and more fuel. I thought they were done giving us all the fuel, but it turns out they like to cuss at people and not believe them. Imagine this. I can imagine that their phone probably rings 10 to 30 times, and I'm guessing, I don't know, maybe it's 100, maybe it's only 5 times.
Maybe it's a 1. We don't know.
But I think by the time they guess they've been tricked 2 or 3 times by people they call, they don't know what to do anymore. So this one individual, if you look up the comment, you're going to post it, right?
Yeah, David. Well, I don't even know if I should say their name or if I should block them out.
Block it out.
Yeah, we're going to block their names out because there's no reason for them to be on there. And like I said, I don't know.
It's just mind-blowing to
we don't
me
know
because
them.
we're not malicious. And the point I'm trying to make is I can't believe these people don't figure it out. Even when I thought they couldn't give us fuel, perfectly innocent individuals trying to, on their behalf, from what I believe, a lot of comments I read, people are confused or they say there's 2 sides to every story.
And they think we're lying about stuff.
We have not made one call.
Right.
We don't play these games. We haven't done any of that. So when I see these comments, I'm surprised a lot of the times. But this latest one, it kind of reflects on what's going over there. And one has to ask themselves, I mean, $650 or a loaner truck, even just to have those phones settled is probably worth $650.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah. So my issue is still trying to put it behind us, extend an olive branch, but bringing you guys, the viewers, that you're a part of his life and I'm a part of his life, so we all culminate together on this video here. You're not going to see any auditing in the future or stunts, as they called it.
That's one thing. We're going to get into a lot of the same repetitive questions that people ask. And a lot of people say that we did this just for views and to blow up my YouTube channel. And I just want to take this moment. We are a family YouTube channel, and I've been making videos for a little over 3 years now, and I had 461 subscribers, and I was happy with that. The whole goal of our videos was to be able to look back at our videos and see how our family's grown and done all that. And this just happened to be in our life, and we recorded it to put it up on our YouTube channel. And like in the video where my dad's talking to the cops, he said he was stunned with 150 views overnight, and he was happy about it. And people think that we did this for views, and it's just like, we're giant masterminds. And one day I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go buy a $33,000 truck with my cash, buy it cash, and then they're going to mess it up.
If you take time to use common sense and you go view the videos, I went down there to help him because it all dropped on us at a dime. That goes along with another issue, people bringing your dad down there to fight your battles. I was doing my thing over here when he's like, Dad, there's a dent on my truck. It's not even finished. This is the 3rd time already. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm his dad. I'm going to go down there and see what the heck's the reason, what's going on. This was before he even knew they were taking his owner truck.
He's been involved since the purchase of the truck.
Helping him find the truck.
So it's not like he just came in out of nowhere because I couldn't defend myself and called him down there to see what he could do. Like Danny says in the video, I talked to him for 2 hours trying to get him to come to a resolution, and it didn't work. So as a very last resort, to exhaust all my routes that I had, I called my dad.
Yeah, so, I mean, people have to try to, rather than vacuuming and the smoke alarm going off and the kid needs change and trying to listen to 3 words and seeing who just texted them, like actually participate, like put yourself in the person's situation. We didn't try it. You can honestly, if you put any kind of attention to it, see, we didn't try to transpire this in any way, fashion, or form. Sometimes through the miracle of video and the way time gaps hit, it gets a little weird to understand all the issues, like how this transpired, but it's a one-day event.
Yeah, it's literally a one-day event. There's no way we could ever imagine for us to be able to record the things that we did.
From the time Danny sealed his fate when I tried to calmly warn him 3 times, and you said go ahead and post it.
And that's the thing too. They told us to go do all
People
this.
don't realize that that was like at about 7:30. By the time we went to Walmart and figured out how we were going to make signs and went home and helped take care of the kids and then went in the garage and filmed it, that was the night before we were out there protesting.
Yeah.
You know,
we woke
it's
up
like
the next day and went
we
out.
knew cops were going to be a part of it because I do watch auditing videos and stuff like that. It's just you're going to be a
nature of
rocket
it.
scientist to figure
Well,
out.
they
what's
already
gonna
called the
happen.
cops on us once at that
Yeah.
point, so we knew that the cops would be coming. And if the cops never came, that would have been greater because what we were doing was 100% legal, and there was no reason for them to even be there. It just happened that they ended up being a part of the videos.
So I think we've exhausted this too. Just, people, it's hard to understand when you look at the miracle of video, how things just pop in front of you and how little time's transpired and how much time's transpired. And the whole point of this 5-minute conversation was that it's ridiculous for somebody, if they apply any energy, to think that we somehow were trying to get views.
And that we're masterminds.
Just
to make my
pulling
YouTube channel,
strings on Danny and
like
making
how
him seal his
how
feet.
can we make Russ and 4 other salesmen come out and get in our faces and do that? Like,
Yeah. I want to say this too, because I think about this quite often, and I'm trying to teach you guys, the salespeople, the owners over there, how unprofessional you are. Had you have told your people, hey, go buy a box of bagels, get that card table out back, and go set a tent up out there, came out and said, hey, I appreciate your guys' right to protest and all this. How about if you would have taken the son in on your own and heard his side of it, like it looked like you were learning for the first time out there? How about that? But what would that have done to me psychologically? I don't do this. I don't know what the outcomes are. I don't know that you're going to come out there and act the way you guys did. Mm-hmm. So if you had done that to me psychologically, I'd have thought, man, this sucks. I'm out here. People aren't honking that much for this last 20 minutes. And man, you brought me bagels. I'm an idiot. But no, instead, what do? You come out.
well, you try to file a false police report first.
Get
and now,
in his face.
And now, even besides the sergeant telling us that, we have other evidence that we've gotten that I don't want to disclose how we got it, but it's tangible
not?
proof. You want me to talk about that?
Well, yeah. It's
All right.
FOIA
Well,
request.
okay. So, if you guys don't know what FOIA request is, it's Freedom of Information Act, and body camera on a cop is
In the cop cars, they're synced together with the cop. We got everything
So
they
it's-
said inside, outside. It's
cut me off. So it's public. All right. So what a FOIA request is, it's Freedom of Information Act, and the body cam footage on a cop is public knowledge, so you can request to get that. So of course, I don't know, they think we're idiots for some reason, and my dad requested that footage. So now we have all the footage that happened inside the dealership with Danny and all the interactions with the police.
For those that
Oh
don't
my
know,
God.
for future problems, anybody, you can go get that footage. You can.
Right.
It doesn't cost you anything. You write on a piece of paper your
You
email, your
request
date.
it and they give it to you.
Yeah,
So
if it's public. It's you own it. You own the people that made it. You can get any information on anybody. That if a cop came out on a domestic disturbance or your neighbors and you wanted to know what happened,
you can get
you can go request it. And by federal law, they have to give it to you, and,
Right.
and they will.
So in this footage, if there's enough people that want to see it, I'll post it for you guys to watch it. Danny talks about turning the sprinklers on us. I'm not sure about here, but I'm pretty sure in California that is assault and battery. So that's a crime right there. If he willingly and knowingly turned the sprinklers on us to stop our First Amendment right to freedom of speech.
The purpose of this is to mentally show you how they fly. Because let's say they did turn the sprinklers on us, right? What will we have done? Oh God, I got wet. Walked down 50 feet and had the same process, the same
Right.
outcome. But that's the game, stealing signs and turning on sprinklers. And these guys
Right.
own and are CEOs of.
So then not only
dealer?
that, there is a salesman, I don't know who his name is, but he recommended that the cops shoot us and made a gun blast noise, and the cop admitted, he's like, well, we can't be doing that. So that's on camera. And then Danny is on there willfully trying to file a false police report, and that's all on footage too that we have. And they claim that the cameras weren't working and they couldn't get the footage of my dad walking on their parking lot, which never ever happened. And I think they just got caught with their pants down because the cops requested the footage, and then all of a sudden their cameras didn't work. So they've tried to file a false police report, and that's another thing there. But
The behavior, it's representative of a character. At least to me it is. I don't know. Maybe other people feel different. But these things are real things that they did that's like, oh my God, I'm trying to buy a car.
right. And then, all right, so we'll get into some comments that keep getting repeated over and over again. I don't understand why.
Oh, wait a minute, real quick. They actually, this really bothered me, and it should bother you too if you're a decent person. What you also see, are we going to put the FOIA request on the videos?
Well, that's why I said if I got enough people that commented, I'll post
Okay,
it
if
for
enough
you guys.
people comment, I guess you'll put them up. They literally took the time out of a customer, their customer's life. I'm going to guess a half hour. There's no telling how long they stood there to try to coerce a statement to the police. Now, they didn't try to coerce him. Let's get this straight,
Coerce.
Danny. Coerce.
Okay.
Didn't tell them what to say, but they had the people stand there. By the time the guy made the statement, it was all, what do they say? Harassment. No, it was all harassment. We harassed him. Then by the time the cop heard it and said, well, what else did he say? And he goes, well, that was basically it. Because that doesn't sound like harassment to me, because it's not. It's like, the level that these people play at, it's like you have customers there trying to buy a car, and sure, I'm trying to warn them against what the problems I've had and what I see. But then you're going to stop this guy's life to falsely get me arrested? The guy testified to seeing me on the asphalt. I can tell you right now, there's no way I would ever do that. Why would I do that? An idiot would do that. So somehow they try to get this guy to see what he didn't see, and magically their video cameras, you'll see it all on the FOIA request if enough people request it.
When the rubber hit the road, they couldn't prove their false accusations that they were making.
Their video machine was not working right.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now we're going to get into the comments that keep getting asked over and over. People saying that I didn't bring the loaner back in the same condition I brought it in. So I'm just going to start out first off saying, I wish my truck was brought back in the same condition I left it with them, because then we never would have been in this situation to begin with. The loaner, I was in Little Rock with my kids seeing Santa Claus. They called me and said that they need to sell it and to get it back to them. So as soon as I left Little Rock, I drove straight to the dealership and gave it to them. And that's another thing, is why is my family there? My family got there because they never had the courtesy to tell me that they were going to keep the loaner and try to give me my truck back. I thought I was going to have another loaner coming, because for 6.5 weeks I had a loaner. Out of nowhere they took it. So that's how my family ended up being stuck there with me. I didn't intentionally bring them there as a chip to try to use against them, or to make a video and try to use that against them. It just, they didn't give me the common decency to let me know that I need to make arrangements to bring the loaner, because they weren't going to have it. So that being said, I didn't have enough time to clean the loaner. This is actually the second loaner I had. The first one I had was a Toyota Tundra. I brought that back just as clean as I got it. No problems, gave it to him. When I brought the second loaner back, the Chevy, I gave it to him, drove it off, never said a question, never told me that. All right, so we had some technical difficulties. We've been editing the whole video, and we found out that this whole section got cut out. So we're talking about the loaner car, and I brought it back. They drove it off, no problem. Never mentioned that it was dirty or anything, and you would think if it was thrashed, as they said, they would have told me right then and there that this isn't acceptable and you can't leave the car like this. And right here on my paper that I have, that I signed out, you can see they left everything completely blank. Like I said in the video, didn't fill out the gas, didn't fill out where any damages were or anything like that. But right on the back right here, it explains, hopefully this isn't backwards, that if you return the car, then it's not in the same condition you're giving it to. It is a $75 cleaning fee, not
$350.
$350 like they tried to say 24 hours later when they're trying to find a leg to stand on and we're screaming in our face and trying to bring it up. Also, if you look in the complaint, it explains right in there that the vehicle had dirt on the floorboards with apple juice in the back seat.
Covered in dirt, which to me means can't see the bottom. I mean, everything's an exaggeration with these people. Like the word thrash, did they use it in the complaint?
They didn't use the word thrash.
It kind of disappeared there. Thrashed is what they did to his truck. That was thrash. Epoxy. I don't know if people are aware of what epoxy is, but it's almost like an irremovable glue.
Right. Well, I'll read what they said in here. They said, when Devin finally returned the loaner, like I was holding hostage.
Yeah, finally.
Didn't want to return their loaner. When I finally returned the loaner vehicle to Phil Wright, it was filthy. The floorboards and seats were covered in dirt. Apple juice was spilled in the back seat. It was returned completely out of gas.
Yeah, what happened to the word thrash? It flew all over everywhere, leaving, I mean, in my mind, seats are ripped, handles are laying half broken off. What's up with that?
Right. So if you do listen to the Russ video, number 3, you can hear one of the salesmen say that I dinged it up and I left scratches on it and I thrashed the truck. And also with the gas, I think you could see it before right there. No markings, don't have anything. They gave it to me with an 1/8 of gas, so I returned it with an 1/8 of gas. I don't know, just exaggeration. So we had to come back, record this, and now we'll go back to the rest of the video.
Anyway, we got cut off there. We got to talk about our personal life, because professionals, let me take a second to explain that to these guys. Civilians and citizens don't have a profession, okay? They're not expected to be professional. That goes to the cops, to anybody working at a dealership or behind a counter. You're supposed to be professional and held to a certain standard.
We're the customer, and they were telling me I wasn't professional.
My buddy,
like in the comments that they were responding to us later, and that's where we could talk about.
So many times David Jones and all these people say you're not being professional.
Okay, so David Jones is an employee that works at the dealership, and once we posted the videos, he was trying to post comments that were not true at all, which I can prove again, like I'm saying. And I don't know if you want to...
No, this guy came out gangbusters, and I think there's some irony here that's going to be kind of worth talking about. This guy was all up in his face on the comments, shooting off their 2 sides and really getting after it.
Well, he said he was there, and he's going to tell what really happened.
Yeah, like as in he's lying. Or people can't see what they're seeing on the cameras.
Right.
And after doing a little research, which anybody can do nowadays, come to find out this guy's graduated, I think, from Arkansas Tech, some sort of tech, high-profile college. The guy's got credentials coming out of his bunghole for commercial, PR, and everything else. Like, what are you doing over there? It's like, you're a consultant for these people, and you're
bickering and insulting
the customer. Even if he was what he was saying he is, they didn't teach you that for all that money and that degree. Come on, bud.
Right. It's just crazy.
The one thing that he did learn, I could tell for sure, he figured out what the word petulant means, because he's demonstrated about 8 times that his kids are petulant. So good going, but learn a new word.
Right. And like everything else we've documented through this whole thing that we've been going through, we have all those screenshotted too. So if you go back and try to delete those comments, they exist forever on our phones with screenshots. Another comment that keeps getting repeated is everybody likes to say, get a job. What, like...
That thing down. Grab the pen. So you don't pick it up again.
So they say get a job and be a productive member of society. I guess these people think that people work 7 days straight and never have a day off, and they can't go do anything else that they want to do.
Let me take it for a second.
Right.
Let me burn your ears up and make them bleed about working. Since the age of 17.
And I just want to clarify, these comments that we've had are in the far minority of all the great support that we've had. It's just something that has been
still equally as aggravating.
Right, so we just want to clarify all this stuff, but it's in a small minority.
These guys over here at the dealership, and some of the ammunition that they try to grab is, don't you have a job? Get a job. Look, I put in wrought iron since I was at the age of 17. I had multiple jobs, jack in a box and running lathes before that. I was a union carpenter at the age of 18. I just retired from 32 and a half years from that, and simultaneously running a welding business in between. My boy here has always worked, and we all.
Since I was 16, I've been employed.
I think my work career would be measured at how little weeks I put in at 40 hours, honestly. And like, please, people, just because you got something that everybody needs to have a job, and I understand where you're angling with that, because the new generation doesn't. People don't have jobs for many reasons. I'm retired. Maybe you won the lotto. I don't know, but it's none of your business to begin with.
I worked 3 12s and got 4 days off, so I don't understand how that's my fault.
It just seems to be a popular thing. Don't these guys have jobs? It's like, oh my God, man. I understand why you'd be aggravated, but mind your own business, because we have plenty of work to do. Don't worry about it. We don't buy $33,000 trucks and stuff because we find money and we're white privileged or whatever you people want to believe.
Right. So that leads us into the next thing. A lot of people say, why didn't you get a Carfax? Or this is a lemon law issue. First of all, they gave us a Carfax before we bought the truck. It says it doesn't have any accidents. And if you don't understand Carfax, if they didn't have the accident go through insurance, it's not going to show up on Carfax. It'll show that it's a perfect truck and nothing ever happened. If someone paid cash to have that accident fixed, you'll never know about
I
it.
hate to break your bubble on that, but I've learned that a long time ago that there's plenty of severe accidents that Carfax doesn't pick up.
So Carfax,
A lot of people do say, this is going to lean right over into an important part of what a lot of people miss. So please pretend their sirens going off, pay attention, stop vacuuming, whatever you're doing. I made comments that misled people as far as, let's get this clear for the next lawsuit, that the truck's leaning, okay? It's not that it's leaning. The A-pillars, in case you know what A-pillars are, the ones in the corners of the truck that hold the glass, okay?
the door. It's the door frame.
Well, it holds the glass and the door frame on the other side. So when they tore the truck apart the first time, before they applied all the epoxy and rearranged the grill, we told them we wanted to go down there and take a look at the truck. So I'm pretty good with all that stuff, body shops and knowing what to expect. And I had looked the car over thoroughly. You're not dealing with an idiot here. Went down there to check it out. The whole thing was opened up. And for the first time, he's got pictures. Everybody always wants to know if he has proof. He has proof none of those dents are there, the post-dated pictures. We have proof from what I'm speaking of.
I don't want to give away all my evidence, because if we do end up in a lawsuit in the future,
Okay.
I don't want them to have ammunition to go against us. But let's just say I have everything covered 100%. I could prove my.
So anyway, we do have measurements for the A-pillars, and it is 3/16. If you look down the fenders where the A-pillars roll in, that's why if you're standing there, it's not a crisp, clean line. You don't really see standing there till you get down and sight down the fender and look at the other one. You can see it's dropped. Okay, now not only that, when you look at the clip, for those that don't know what a clip is, because we talk about it on the light, a clip is what holds the radiator, the light bulbs, everything else. From day one, I looked at in that truck, and I could see that the little plastic pegs, the two on the left side, were way off. It's not weird for them to be shifted with a little daylight or something, but it's almost like they were customized way off, and that made me suspicious. But the truck was so beautiful and pristine and clean underneath, I just let it go because I figured the light could be fixed easily. When we were there looking at this thing, I started pulling tape measures on this. Now, we have pictures and time stamped and all this stuff. The clip is the thing, the black piece of the frame that holds the radiator lights. It shifted 3/8 over, okay? That's why those little plastic, I'm going the wrong way, 3/8 over. That's why the plastic clips are completely halfway exposed. Now, here's another thing that everybody missed. I don't think the dealer knew about that.
I was just going to say that
Okay,
right now.
I really don't. I don't think they're that devious and bad of people. I honestly don't. They didn't know about it. We're not trying to claim that's why we were refunding the truck. That had nothing to do
People
with it.
say I had buyer's remorse. That I don't have buyer's remorse. We never claimed that the dealership sold me a damaged truck.
I have enough knowledge of vehicles. I used to build my own and have to work on all my cars. When Danny says there's nothing wrong with that, that's why I cut him off. I love the truck. There's nothing wrong with it. It drives. It's beautiful. Now, does that mean you can kick the shit out of it and put scratches and dents on it over 6.5 weeks? No. If you think I'm wrong, give me $650. Bring me your car and let me do that to your car. Let's see how far we get.
Yeah. People act like I'm overreacting, but the first time I picked up my truck, I'm going to explain this. They told us it was ready to go. Everything's beautiful. The light's fixed. And I get there. I have pictures to prove all this again. There's epoxy smeared over both sides of the fenders, on the grill, on the headlights, and on the bumper. The grill was shifted all the way to the left for no reason. The scratches were there. The paint chips in the bezel were there. And the light still wasn't fixed. So everyone's trying to say that I had buyer's remorse and I found all these scratches later and I'm trying to bring it up later for them to fix and then eventually try to get the truck back. That's not how it was. The salesman couldn't stop apologizing to me how embarrassing the condition of the truck was, and he told me he didn't look at it before I came out to pick it up. And it's undeniable. The dealer never denied any of the damages to it, and it was blatantly clear that it happened under their care and wasn't when I bought the truck.
Let me walk you guys through this concept real quick because it was a bit of an epiphany for me to realize this. We were so unprepared for how all this was going to come out and what it was going to look like and everything. It's interesting because people in the comments always say, whether they're for us or against us, I believe you folks or I don't believe you folks. I never even realized that this was going to be a thing of I believe you based on people that are professional coming out and dirtying the waters by saying you left your wife on the side and ran out of gas and dirtied my seats. To me, it was always a cut and dry deal. It's a thing of principle, and it's just interesting. It was an epiphany to me that people say, I believe you folks. You know, it's like, it's so cut and dry in my world because I went through it in a timeline that was realistic. I understand the deficits and everything, but I just thought it was interesting that we never expected anybody to believe us. We were just kind of reporting.
We're just explaining our experience that happened at the dealership and presenting what happened to us.
What's going on in our life, and look at how these guys acted. Can you believe it? And then all of a sudden people are having a belief contest due to somebody bringing up trivial things that don't even pertain to the issues at hand. It's interesting.
All right, so another comment that we got a lot of was that it was a fair deal that Danny was giving me, and why didn't I just eat the $650 and move on? Throughout the whole experience, it took 6.5 weeks of my time, at least 17 hours driving back and forth, and ultimately we got back, and I was going to take that deal minus the tax. I just asked for a ride home with my family, and thinking any thinking any decent human being would give a ride back for 3 kids and a woman that were sitting there with us. And again, they never would have been there if they had the common courtesy to let me know that I wasn't going to get the loaner back.
I think their words were, a decent person knows to bring something back the way it was borrowed. Well, a decent person, me, I would give it women and children, and a person was buying a car or not buying a car a ride home. But maybe there was some other intent there.
Right. So he told me that's not his issue, and it's up to me to find a ride home. So that's what brought us back to the $650 that I was asking for. The taxes to be included in the purchase of the truck that he was buying back.
Even if he was given the $650, he still would have been at a deficit.
Right.
It's about principle.
So if I sold him my truck back, I would not have a vehicle. And we have one van that's to drive my kids to and from school. My wife needs it on a daily basis. And I got to drive to work that's 48 minutes away. So I would be out of vehicle until I found a new one. And the truck that I purchased from them took me months just to find the truck that I was looking for, exactly the truck I wanted, at the price that it was at and at the condition it was in.
And imagine trying to wheel and deal when you need a car.
Right.
If you can find the one you want to wheel and deal on, how much power does that give you to wait and make bids on it? It doesn't.
So it puts me at a deficit to just eat that $650.
And all this was brought about because his purchased property, they scratched, rearranged, damaged, and dented at the end.
Right. So for their mistakes, it now becomes my burden to have to find a new truck within 60 days so that I'm not out at the $650 on top of it, plus not having a truck. And if you watch the video number 3 with Russ, when I'm explaining that to him, he stays completely silent and never disagrees with me that I could find a truck. And he knows the inventory is low, and it could have been a possibility that I wouldn't have found a truck.
And again, I challenge anybody to go watch this video and not understand how tight of a time frame it was when Danny perpetuated all this and left him no choice to go from one situation to the other. So
giving me an ultimatum.
It turned into principle. Granted, for $650 that day, this would have all been done. So, or a loaner,
right? I was just gonna say
4 tires and a damn Coke can that holds car seats, and so he could continue his life as normal. Well, they tried to undestroy his truck that they destroyed,
right?
And that is the way it is.
And that's comments that come up too. It's like, oh, they gave you a $50,000 truck to drive around.
Yeah, what the hell?
I never asked
a $4 million truck, or if it was a $20 freaking car. So stupid.
I never asked for the loaner in the first place. It was given to me. I had a loaner for 6.5 weeks, and they couldn't fix the issues that they caused. I would have drove around in a Toyota, friggin'
if it was safe,
Civic. I don't care.
3 car seats.
Right.
We're not people.
As long as I could get to and from work, that's all I cared about. I didn't care that it was $50,000, and that's nice that they gave me a $50,000 truck.
Hard to believe that car dealership guys are so impressed with the $50,000. They're $110,000 nowadays. Right. What the hell are you doing? What are you talking about?
So I don't get how that's my fault that they loaned me a $50,000 truck. All right, guys. So I think we're going to try to wind this video down. It's pretty long from what I could tell. And if you guys made it this far, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video and sticking around. And we just want to take the opportunity to thank all the supporters that have left comments and just throughout the whole step of the way. I can't believe how many people have come out and support.
There's special people that we wanted to thank. He's answered almost every comment to date, okay?
Yeah.
And that's tedious, but he feels like he owes it to people because they participated in one fashion. Then there's the people you got to battle, and I've kind of left that to my job a little bit. But there's certain people I wanted to name, but I'm not going to name you. I just want to, you know, kind of who you are, because there's probably about 15 guys that really understood the way I would hope somebody understood it, and people that really got in there and supported. And I know that sounds like a low number, and it's disappointing to me as well, believe it or not. There's a lot of supporters, but there's a handful of you out there who took the time and said things that I would hope the way that the person would see it. And we want to thank you, but I'm not going to name names because I would be here for, I don't know, I'd have to go find all the names and everything.
Right. But you know who you are. We've had longer conversations with you than other people commenting, and just want to say that we appreciate you and thank you. And
it's when I'm trudging through it, and everything comes in waves, the support and non-support, the confusion, the idiots that are actually on their side, it drains you because you're like, oh my God, what's wrong with humanity these days? And then all of a sudden a breath of fresh air comes through with somebody that gets all the little points and says something, and you're like, oh man, there's still hope for humanity. People get it. But I also wanted to include this. I believe he's going to include this. The 94% like rates on each one of these, absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah,
so
the like to dislike ratio. I'll put them on the screen for each of the 4 videos.
All of you haters out there that think that you're Davy Jones and people like you and Manfred that think that you're really knocking it out of the park, wasting all of your time trying to drag us down with your comments, wait till you get a load of these statistics coming from YouTube. Because it's going to make you feel bad.
Yeah, we'll have them right here so you guys can see the like to dislike ratio. It's pretty good.
Yeah, every one of them's in the 90 plus on every video.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's phenomenal, you know, in itself. But thanks to the supporters.
Yeah, we just want to say thank you guys.
Oh, there was another thing.
Just can't end it.
No. Well, we didn't do the phone call thing, did we?
The phone call thing. Yeah, we talked about that.
I know, but not to its extent, right?
I don't know if I want to. All right, with all this being said, I'm going to slow down on responding to all the comments that I've had, all the ones that are in for support and all the ones that are against us. I've spent a lot of time commenting and doing it to try to get the video more traction to show more and stimulate the algorithm, and it seems like it's done a good job, but I can't keep doing that forever, and I hope this video will just substitute for me commenting. I don't know if people want to just come watch this video. It kind of answers everything.
In all honesty, he's struggling because he enjoys commenting, but it sucks up a lot of his life. So there might be some peppering in there. Don't feel bad if you don't get hit. And sometimes,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Sometimes I draw his attention to positive ones that are getting missed, but you know, you guys seem to be supporting just because you feel like it's the right thing and you want to do it, and that's great. But he's just trying to hip you to the idea that he's not going to be able to hit everybody the way he's been. Unless
it's some of my other videos, and then I have more of an opportunity to respond to you guys. Because I've had people tell me some amazing stories.
Do you want to leave your what is it?
Instagram?
Yeah.
I'll have my Instagram link down below, DRay1991, and you can send me a direct message if you really have to get to where you need to talk to me or anything. With that being said, if anything else comes of this, we'll make more videos on the dealership. If they end up sending me the video, I'll put it up just like I said. But from now on, we're going to be trying to post more of what we normally did with our family videos and our truck videos and stuff like that. And all that stuff was on hold because of the lawsuit. But now we're going to get back into it. And I'm going to get back to trying to post 1 video a week. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys.
Subscribe. Don't forget, fight your battles one step at a time.
One step at a time.